Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Memory Hunters by Mia Tsai. The Memory Hunters is the first book of the consecrated duology. It's a science fantasy set some 250, 300 years in the future in a world that has been transformed by climate change. We've had a reorganization of societies in the intervening centuries. And where we pick up is a region that is essentially the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains. Our primary city for the setting is Ashburg, which, can't help but recall our own, beloved Asheville in our present time. And the Institute of Human Memory, a museum that exists there, this sort of cultural institution that exists along the broad spine of the Appalachian Mountains, and perhaps wider through North America as well. This is the story of a memory hunter, and as the title would suggest, and their guardian, her guardian, Kiana, or Key, and the guardian, Valerian IV, or Vale. All these guardians take botanical names. And what they do is they sort of travel to ruins of, various previously inhabited portions of the world, things that have been destroyed or abandoned in the many storms of this sort of climate era. And they take shrooms and dive deep into the memories of the people who lived in that place, and are able to extract information and culture and community from these memories. So rediscovering shortwave radio and things like that. Or in this particular case, in our inciting sort of thing, realizing that there are variations in the earliest part of the religious aspect of this sort of mushroom psychedelic memory art. We've got on the one hand a museum, this Institute of Human Memory, and on the other hand a religious expression of this sort of memory diving in a temple there in Ashburg. And so we've got the tension going between these two competing ideologies of how to use memory, and then the idea of ownership or care of memory in a museum. It's a very, thinking about the issues of museum studies, of archaeology, of climate and change, and also a thrilling adventure with people who are very good friends, but maybe are inching their way towards more than that. So in all of that, we've got, sword fights and drug trips and cool mountain cities and thinking about climate change and deliciously unsubtle metaphors. Memory as a stand-in for an artifact. It's so good. I'm like, yes, pound it home. Send us all the way. It's impassioned and exciting and thoughtful and just exactly what I enjoy in a great science fantasy, especially something that is sort of close to home as well, here in the American South, a region that's very dear to my heart and to my home. Spent many a happy visit in the Appalachian Mountains and in the Asheville region thereabouts. And so it's just really a thoughtful, adventurous, exciting science fantasy with twists and reveals that are really complicating the narrative in exciting ways, as we look to the back half of the duology. I just love a duology here on Bark Heart Bookshelf. And, you know, we love a mushroom too. And I really love that these are, like, specifically, fully, almost entirely recognizable psychedelic mushrooms. Like, it's that elevated into the realm of the fantastical, but at the same time, just on that edge of, like, oh, well, you know, mushrooms are weird. This, you know, things could be happening. Things could be happening in the mycelial structures. Like, you know, I get it. It's on that, like, edge of possibility. I'm right there. I'm right there in it. And so our hunter and guardian, Key and Veil. And so, with that in mind, of course, we had to have a drink. Our drink today is the Blood Chalice, named for the mushrooms that they consume to have these sorts of memory diving visions. And we're going to begin with 1 ounce of cachaça. Now, we don't really have distilled spirits in this future, but we do have a sugarcane wine, and so that's close enough to a cachaça. Nice, grassy, green, refreshing, really great for those sorts of sweltering, humid kinds of summers like we're having here in my neck of the woods and like they're having in the world of the memory hunters. To that, we will add 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, keeping it light, keeping it bright. Lovely. And then 1/2 ounce of Campari. These blood chalices, they're red mushrooms, so we've got to get something good and red in there as well. And also this sort of aura, rather, of bittersweet revelation and understanding of complications in one's life and one's work and one's art. So we'll get our bittersweet realization in that bright red Campari in there. And then to sweeten things up, we'll get 1/2 ounce of mango juice, using a mango juice from Trader Joe's. Nice one to work with because it's these perfect size cans. Valerian or Vale and her mentor Burdock enjoy some mangoes at several points in their friendship, in their memories of each other and in their present time. And you get this sense of how the climate has shifted in such ways that, you know, you're going to be not growing mangoes, essentially, in what's basically western North Carolina, but within the access by train that this setting in this time period has. So, you know, there are places, regions further south that are hotter and humider and growing mangoes and sending them up the north towards up the spine of the mountain to Ashburg as a special kind of treat. And with that in mind as well, we'll add 1/4 of an ounce of passion fruit made from the passion fruit, the pods and seeds of the passion flower, which does grow in that region. This is one of these syrups that I just never make for myself because the seeds and the pulp and all are really hard to make for yourself, but Small Hen Foods, they do a great one. It's a wonderful syrup to play with. It makes everything you put it in taste tropical, so highly recommend for that. And now we'll get some crushed ice down into our shaker, and we'll get some crushed ice into a glass. There we go. Nice. Frosty, freezy. Set that aside and shake it up. Wake it up. There we go. Lovely. Frosty, frothy, freezy. And strain. And we'll top that with just a little more crushed ice. So cold, so refreshing, so perfect for a summer's day. And so there you have it. This is the Blood Chalice, inspired by The Memory Hunters by Mia Tsai. The Memory Hunters is available today. A huge thank you to the publisher Erewhon Books for sending me an advance copy so that I could celebrate this one on its release day. I've got a link to snag the book in the description down below, as well as a link to purchase my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails to Level Up Your Game Night, all inspired by video games, including, some far future dystopian kinds of games, worlds changed by mushrooms and climate change, so you can check that out. We've got links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button. It makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some great books that we'll be talking about in August as we complete the summer here. And as I said, try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And until next time, cheers.